We're back, baby. It's been so long, and I'm so happy. It hasn't been so long. It's been like 3 days, though, but we're back, and we're better than ever. And today, as you can tell by the title, we got Artisan back! Yeah! But I'm trying to hype myself up because, as you guys may have known, I was on 500 tests a week and 200 mass throughout a week, but now I'm only on 250 tests. I'm taking a break. So we're going to see how that treats me. I felt really down and out earlier today, dude. Just at work, no matter how much caffeine I drank, I just did not feel the same. Obviously, I'm not going to feel the same if I'm bumping that much down, but today was my first pin day where I wasn't pinning all that stuff. I was just pinning half the test I usually pin, and it's going to suck for 6 to 8 weeks. I'm going to have to ride it out being on a lower dose. Energy levels might decline. I kind of felt my energy levels drop down today a little bit. But yeah, and I do have the camera. You guys are almost as tall as me. I bet you feel like a big man. I bet you feel so high and mighty up there. Oh, I bet you just, I bet. You won't be as tall as me, though. No one will. No, I'm just kidding. Sometimes I'll see someone taller than me. And they're usually not at the gym, just in random. Usually at Five Guys. I don't know why. It's always at Five Guys. There's just a lot of tall people that go in there. But the thing is, if you see someone tall, it's very rare they're in shape. Okay? I don't know why. I think I do know why. It's because when you're tall, you have a lot of mass to your body, and it's kind of awkward. So it's going to be filled out in kind of an awkward way. But you do have more potential because you have more length to put muscle on, but it's going to take longer to put that muscle on. But we're whipping up our pre-workout meal, and I think I'm just going to cut. I'm going to make a cut to me being at the gym. So I'll see you guys there. I'm at work right now, and this is a couple days after I had the arms and back workout. I've only been recording a couple sets. I just don't see a point in recording the whole workout. Maybe if I ever when I get to the point when I have a better camera, a better setup, I think that's what I might do. But for now, I'm pretty cool with just uploading a couple, like a handful of clips of me doing the workouts, me working out. But yeah, definitely expect more. Like, why am I having such a hard time talking? Expect more clips of me working out. And I know why I'm having a hard time talking, because I took an Adderall. I usually don't take Adderall. Usually when I drink caffeine, I'm kind of all over the place, which I kind of like. That's what I like about caffeine. Versus Adderall, it gives you that, but it's more controlled. It's like an artificial energy, if you know what I mean. Especially when it wears off and you start to feel that drowsy, like I'll be sluggish. Like I kind of sound drunk when I'm coming down from it, like I'm slurring my words, kind of sloppy. But yeah, Adderall's gay. I'm kind of gay for taking it, so that was kind of gay of me. And I gotta fix my reputation as someone who talks about pills and I expose them for how bad they are. And then I'm taking them. I mean, come on, man. That's, that is pretty dumb. But I could see why people would be under the impression that it's helpful, but I couldn't imagine taking it every day. That'd be insane. Today I might need it though. I mean, I don't need it, but it's definitely a boost that might be of good use. I think my 3 minutes are about to end. 1 second. I got a 30-minute drive. I might just talk for 30 minutes. Talking about Adderall. Let's get the most out of this Adderall. We're still at the shop. Right now at the warehouse. I guess I call it shop. No one here calls it warehouse. Or warehouse. Warehouse, I picture like a big Amazon factory or something like that. But yeah. We got a big project today. My attention is drifting. I'm focusing if my guy says anything.
I'm running to Dunkin', then we gotta stop at Home Depot.
I'll just go to Home Depot. But I should have ended that recording. That was a pointless clip to keep in. But I'm running to Home Depot. As you can shift the park. Why? I don't want to. My driver door is ajar. I know it kind of makes me autistic. I started to realize that yesterday, especially when the come down hit. I don't know if it was just purely the come down from Adderall or the fact that I mixed it in with 400 milligrams of caffeine, which is terrible. It's a terrible thing to do. I'm sorry, I didn't know how bad the camera was vibrating. But yeah, I'm at Home Depot just waiting for my foreman to pull up. I hope this Adderall come down does not wipe me out completely like yesterday. I felt like I was kind of going manic yesterday, dude. I don't know. I kind of didn't want to talk to anyone. I just wanted to get it. Once I got back to the shop, I just wanted to get in my car and go home. And since yesterday was a rest day, I was going to work on the project. I had a name for the project. I think it had something to do with Goon. I don't remember. Something stupid. Oh, Goon Lagoon. Goo Lagoon from SpongeBob, but Goon Lagoon. Just the thought of making a cabin in the woods just only to goon in it. So there's a cabin with just you in there. So if you, when you nut, you can just yell and be as loud as you want. You can watch a video on full blast. But gooning is gay. In all seriousness, you shouldn't goon. I take these glasses off so you guys can see how serious I am. Yeah, gooning's gay. Don't goon. You get nothing from gooning except that short-term pleasure and then that empty feeling afterwards of, just that feeling of fuck afterwards. Anything that gives you that instant release, that instant pleasure, is always going to have that instant withdrawal or that instant low. Every high has a low. Whatever goes up must come down. I think it's a saying. I think it also says it's an Eminem song, but I think I swear there's a philosopher, famous mathematician maybe who said that, but whoever said it, they're onto something because it's true. But yeah, anything like that is just not good. I might be going back on my word about how bad drinking is. This is bad. This is bad, okay, actually. Okay, I'm happy I'm wording this. I'm realizing not only did I take an Adderall when I talk about how bad drugs are, but I'm trying to justify me going to a bar and getting drunk, which is a theory. It might not happen yet, but my friend, he goes to University of Buffalo, and I'm thinking about, I live in Syracuse, I'm thinking about taking a 2.5-3 hour drive out there, and he's talking about this thing called a bar crawl. I don't know what that is. I mean, it sounds like it's day drinking. It's Halloween related, so you have to dress up, which I don't want to be drunk dressed in a Halloween costume. It sounds dumb, especially if you think about it. But let me just paint a scenario. I mean, God forbid this to happen. It wouldn't happen because I'm not the type to try to start stuff and fight people. But imagine you go to a bar for a Halloween gathering, a Halloween party or whatever event, and you end up getting in a bar fight, and you end up getting knocked out in your Halloween costume. Just imagine being dressed up as like a big purple dragon or something stupid, and you end up getting knocked out, and you're just laying unconscious in a dumb suit. That's dumb. And that's a dumb situation. You look like a dumb person. Everything about that's dumb. I don't want that to happen. I mean, it wouldn't, because I like to believe I'm in control of the situation if I were to go out, and I would be able to de-escalate a fight from happening. And I like to think that I wouldn't lose in a fight. I don't know how to fight, really. I mean, I'm 6'8", and I'm almost 270. So I do have a size advantage, but that doesn't really mean anything if you're going against a skilled fighter. Like, I don't know what to do. I just try to hold them away. I mean, I'm pretty strong. Maybe I could just use if I get put in a wrestling move, maybe I could break out of it with strength. I don't know. Or maybe I just get my ass kicked and look like a retard in the process. So I'm not going to confidently say I could do this or I could do that. No, that's why I want to get into Muay Thai this winter. But I don't know if I can, because I was talking to my guy I work with, and he was saying, I was asking him when we get laid off for the winter, and he laughed. So I'm like, I take that as we don't. So we don't get laid off. And he's like, we do, but I'm like, so when? It's like early October right now. He's like, well, maybe sometimes it's been December, sometimes January, sometimes February. It's like, what's the point of being laid off in February? You've already went through the worst of the winter, which is usually January or sometimes December, mostly January. But around here in New York, central New York, Syracuse area, it's weird. Weather's weird. It can go in. The worst part of the winter can be in February, maybe even March. So I guess I could see it, but depending the year, it varies, I guess. But I hope we get laid off, because I want that unemployment check. Because that check, that money is going up, dude. It wasn't like high 400s, which is like nothing to live off of a week. And now it's like up to 869, I think. I'm perfectly fine with that. And maybe making a mid 800s, high 800s, and then doing a side job, getting some cash on the side, pulling in like $1,100-1,200 a week. I'm perfectly fine with that. That's great. And then, I got all this. And then, if I'm laid off like that, and if I do have a job, it's going to be like part-time. It's going to be a side job, maybe plowing snow, working in a garage, like I don't know. I'm just talking to my ass right now, detailing cars. I almost said I don't even know anyone that does that, so that's just random. But yeah, there's definitely some, and if not, I could perfectly get by in mid 800s, but no. And no, for the reason that I want to make more money, and the reason that I don't want to have all that spare time, because idle time is the devil's time. So when you get those weird demonic thoughts in your head that you might start thinking, like, what are some things you might get depressed, and that depression might come from just being bored. Like, you might think you're depressed, but you're just bored. Especially as a guy, you need to be busy. They say guys can be content with just the bare minimum, but I feel like it's more of a girl thing, in the sense that high testosterone guys are going to want to be around people, like-minded people, and people are going to challenge them. And I feel like girls, they have in their DNA to be like the homemaker, to be like the loving, affectionate one. Well, the guy is the one, she builds the nest, and the guy goes out and makes the money, and each party, the guy and the female play their role together beautifully when they actually harmonize together and do it. But it's cliche to say, but it's changing nowadays. Girls girls feel the need to try to try to push back against that. I'm being careful about words here, because, you know, I mean, I guess I could see it if you're told that your job is to stay home and do one thing, and you're like, no, I want to go out and I want to do this, but then you end up going out and doing this, and then you see women in their 30s are starting to get to that age where they're getting older now, and then they're starting to realize, like, oh shit, my clock is ticking. It's almost midnight. It's almost over, you know. I'm getting kind of old to, it cut me off. And also my foreman's here, so I got to go into Home Depot. I'm going to come back and get some more. I got some more talking to do, man. I'm probably not going to remember what I left off on, so it might be a new subject, who knows, but I'll be back. We're at the job site now. It's like 30 degrees out. I'm not looking forward to working in this, but, you know, gotta do it. And it's a beautiful neighborhood out in Marcellus. But yeah, it's good motivation to make it, you know, to make money, to get rich eventually someday. But yeah, like whenever I'm working out here, I always see people like in their bathrobe in the morning, walking around, like sipping coffee, staying in, not having to like slave away to maintain. I mean, I don't know, maybe they did slave away, you know, maybe they had a period of time where they just had to go at it and just, you know, stay focused. Probably if they have that nice of a house. I can't really think of how else they would get it unless they're just born into it. I mean, I know people that generally think that rich people are like terrible people and that they're lazy, and usually it's the opposite. Like I worked with a guy for a while, and he just always just say things like, "Oh, rich people problems," which isn't really, you know, not really a hateful thing to say. And I'm one to be speaking about hateful. I say a lot of stuff. But to hate on someone just for the sole fact that they're doing well and think that they're doing well because they're like corrupt and they found a way to like cheat the system, I think that's a shallow thing to do. Just hate on someone's success overall is just kind of gay. Because most rich people are very nice. I mean, you know, you'll get some bad apples in the bunch sometimes. I think it's more like poor people that are kind of scumbags. And I'm not saying all poor people are scumbags. I'm not making that general of a statement. I'm like poor people that refuse to like put an effort to do well. They refuse to put their best foot forward. Like it's like that's not respectable. You know, I don't respect that. Someone who refuses to like give it their all, who's comfortable just coasting by, just getting by. You know, but and when you talk to poor people, with some poor people, you can kind of realize why they're poor by the way they talk. Like if you start off every sentence with "fucking this, fucking that," like that's a situation where you can judge a book by its cover. And there's successful people that have like a mouth of a sailor on them. But I'm sure if you listen to any like multi-millionaire or billionaire speak, they don't swear. They're very, well, obviously, you know, well articulated with the way they talk. They always have an intention probably whenever they talk. Well, and there's also different types of rich people. Like you got rich people with like big personalities, and you got like people like Jeff Bezos. I haven't really listened to him, but from what I've seen, he seems different. Like maybe he's just really autistic. I don't know. He's getting kind of ripped though. I think it's Jeff Bezos. He's getting in good shape, so that's cool that he's doing that. But yeah, and I think anyone that's rich has to be disciplined to the point where, well, yeah, because they had to have that period of their life where that's all they really were worried about was just taking the next step, making the next move to make money. Their willing to put a lot on the line. They're risk takers, and they're not willing to do the same thing every day if it just leads to like a very mediocre lifestyle. They're willing to take chances, and I know some of them give advice, and it's like, put all of your money here. But the problem is, for most people, is how do you get that money first? And with a lot of rich people, from what I've seen, is they're not necessarily they make a ton of money, but the way they make a ton of money, but the reason they got rich, and the rich people that came from nothing, the reason they got rich was because the way they budgeted their money, the discipline they had to, no, I'm not going to go out and get McDonald's today. I'm hungry, but I'm going to, spend $2 on some cans of tuna fish at the store and eat some tuna fish. Or I'm going to really be aware of what I'm putting my money and my time into. And, you won't see a rich person that started off with nothing, and you won't see them just like, oh yeah, I used to play video games. Like if you ask them what they do in their spare time, oh, video games. It's always something to better their future. I guess this is kind of turning into like a talk about discipline, which I think is a good thing to talk about. Especially if you're a guy, and if you're a girl, you need discipline too. Everyone needs discipline. But I think it's bad with like young men, like a lot of young men just don't have it. Like they know what's right and wrong, and I think stuffing that deep down and not acknowledging right from wrong because you choose not to follow the right path, I think that does something to your spirit and your heart. I think it does something to like your spirit and your heart and just your being. If you know right from wrong, but you always continue to do the easier thing and do the wrong thing, and I think eventually it can manifest into like how you are physically, like your physical body. You might get sick, you might be out of shape from it after a while, and then your emotions are gonna be you're gonna be like emotionally a 5-year-old, just cranky and grumpy. Because I know like lots of people that are just comfortable just getting by, just being the bare minimum. Like I have friends, we'd go out somewhere. I'd never really hang out with anyone, but when I would go out and get some food, and it's like, oh, I have no money. And it's like, bro, how do you live with your parents? Like, what do you spend your money on? Oh, I spend my money on weed. And it's like, okay, if you're not going to save your money, at least spend it on something useful. Like, the idea to people that don't go to the gym, the idea of getting a trainer is like insane. It's like, instead of say you smoke an ounce a week, because there's people like that, instead of buying an ounce a week, take half of that and put it towards a trainer, and towards a gym membership, and your trainer will write out your diet, write out workouts you need to do. Then every couple weeks, check back with that trainer and just show them what you're doing, make sure you're doing the right thing. I guarantee that'll give you the better feeling than weed or alcohol or any drug could ever give you. And that's the tough part about it. It's not going to be right away. It's going to feel great. Like, especially your first workout, it's going to suck. You're not going to... Your idea of what you want to work towards might be in your head. You might have a good image of it. Like going into like your first workout and going into the gym. But then you actually get a taste of, oh, wow, this is hard. This is hard, physically and mentally challenging. And this is only day one. I just started this workout. So I think once you can get over that hump, over that bump in the road, that you can definitely see the other side. Or just the feeling after working out is a great feeling. Like, say you worked out. Say, for example, you're new to the gym, you go to the gym in the morning, get in your first workout. I don't know about first workout ever, but like your first workout, you're trying to get some structure in your life. And you get in a workout and it's like, wow, I did that today. And you go around kind of that sore feeling, but it's like a good sore feeling. You know you earned it. And say you drink, it's like, okay, I earned this alcohol. I mean, I'm not saying don't drink alcohol. Alcohol's gay. And it'll ruin your gains too. I mean, I know people that are probably, I don't know about alcoholics, but they do drink and they're pretty ripped. That doesn't mean to do it though. Definitely. All the subjects in this video is kind of going to be all over the place. My apologies. Try to keep up with my Adderall brain, I guess. I hate even saying that trust me, I don't take Adderall. I'm not an Adderall bot. But yesterday and today I did it, and yesterday was the first time I've done it in probably like 6 weeks, or no, probably like 4 weeks. I ended up buying one for my old high school buddy, but before that it was probably like 3 months. I have phases with Adderall where I'll go like maybe a month, it could be 4, 5, 6 months without it, and then I'll have a week to 2 weeks where I'll just take it a couple times those weeks, and then I'll get enough of it, I'll get a taste of it and be like, yeah, I couldn't imagine being prescribed it, because I know people that take it every day. That's crazy to me. It makes you just stupid. Like, stupid in the sense that, what am I trying to say here? That's cool. Wait, hold up. That's kind of cool. Look at the back of that trash truck. Look at that art. But what was I talking about? Yeah, about how it can kind of make you retarded. I think, having to rely on any type of drug, anything like that to get by is just setting you up for failure. I think caffeine's different. I think caffeine's different because it's more of a natural high, more of a natural buzz. Adderall kind of gives you like an artificial energy. Like when I'm on Adderall, I'm more like on one thing, more focused on one thing. And that's its job, it's for people with ADHD. And I don't know if I have ADHD. I don't like to self-prescribe I'm not going to say, I have ADHD, but I've never been to a doctor and been treated. I don't know how they do that, but never done that. I'm not going to self-treat myself because there's a lot of people that do that. It's kind of gay. However, when I was in high school, my mom wanted me to go to this, like, I guess to figure out if you're special ed, and like this lady would like put together puzzles and stuff, and there was just like one puzzle, or you'd have to put together puzzles, or you'd have to point out patterns and stuff, I guess, and be able to finish the pattern. And I was fine, and then I got to this one pattern, and she said it was like specifically for like ADHD, and I couldn't even get like past the first step. I remember I almost crashed out. I just looked at it and I was like, I don't even care to try to figure, but I was like, I don't even care to figure this one out. Like, it pissed me off just looking at it. I guess that's like an overstimulated feeling. It's like, I look at it and thinking in my head, like, fuck! Like, I don't know how to do this. It's stressing me out. This is stupid. What do I have to do? This is stupid. That's so funny to me. Like, if you can't figure something out, just giving up and just saying, this is stupid. I just got to be careful with that way of thinking when it comes to people, though. Like, if you don't get along with someone right away, just telling yourself, this is stupid, this person's stupid. Because then it takes away from any parts of them that are good that they have to offer, And if you do it with everyone, then you're just going to live an isolated life. And I've definitely been guilty of that. You kind of have to do it in some senses, like when it comes to friends. Like if you have friends that talk about it a lot, but just go out and they're careless and they party and they do whatever they want. If you find yourself with them all the time, you're going to start becoming like that and becoming like a child, because it's childish, just want to have a good time all the time. And it kind of just leads to depression. Because then, like I noticed, for example, if I'm working throughout the day, if I start off my day at work and I have my beats on, my headphones on, I'm listening to music, and then I listen to music for like 30 minutes, I'm like, time to switch it up, and I listen to a podcast, and then do that for 30 minutes. It's like, I guess I'll go back to music. And it's like, my brain starts to get like frantic. It's like, okay, I got to be listening to something. So then it's like, I'll have to stop and just say, okay, maybe it's time I do a couple hours of work with no stimulation, no headphones, no anything. I'm just fully encapsulated in what I'm doing. And I mean, obviously, if what I'm listening to like changes the quality of my work, I'm gonna stop. Obviously, like I don't wear headphones if I'm doing
hard physical work at my job. Like especially if it's like 90 out and I'm sweating, because then it sweats in my headphones, my hair gets stuck in it. But when you got long hair, you get lots of problems with that type of stuff. It'll get in your face. Like when you eat, I wear my headphones when I eat, not even on my ears. I'll like pull them back just to keep my hair back. So it's gross, but so my hair doesn't get in my food. It's happened before. Also, I'm surprised more dudes don't have long hair. Now, like, everyone is, like, not everyone, but a lot of guys, it's just normal to have short hair now. I mean, some guys look better with short hair than long hair, I guess. It really depends. I look like a lesbian if I have short hair. I don't know why. Maybe it's my forehead, but I just look like a gay female. I've done it before. I've had phases, and it just looks gay on me. I can't get away with that. I can't pull that off. So so that's why I like having the long hair. It's kind of fallen out, and I don't think it's because the TRT that I'm on. It's because I don't take care of it. It's a really stupid reason. I don't comb my hair. And it forms so many knots in the back. My mom yells at me. She's like, all you have to do is just comb your hair 2 to 3 minutes a day, and you'd be fine. Like, you wouldn't have to deal with this problem. So it's my fault because I don't comb my hair, and I could literally comb my hair and prevent it all from happening. I like the messy look though, but I don't like the falling out part. And it doesn't fall out by itself. I'll be in like the shower and I'll be feeling a knot. I'm like, oh, this knot, like the feeling of it pisses me off. So I'll just like start to like try to work the hair out of the knot, but I'll do it like a little too hard, or I'll start from the top, and you're supposed to start from the bottom and work your way to the top, and I'll end up pulling like a little chunk out. I'm like, oh no. And then if you do that like 20 times, after a while, you'll start to notice a bald patch forming, which I'm kind of noticing in the back. It's not noticeable unless you really look. That's the cool thing about being tall, is people can't see the top of your head, so I never have to worry about that. That's nice. But they can see up your nose, so you got to blow your nose a lot. So if you have a lot of shit in your nose, definitely fix that if you're tall. Because imagine someone's like talking to you, and like you're talking and they're listening, and like they're having a hard time concentrating. It's like there's something in your nose. You got to take care of that. And if I'm ever talking to you and that situation is unfolding, please tell me. I won't get offended. I'll be thankful. But I'm literally going on about nothing right now. That's the thing about Adderall. You can just talk. Every conversation you have on Adderall is so stimulating. That's why it's so bad. Because like, I wanted the crackhead in me is like, I want to take it all the time now. But I have a deep anxiety and paranoia that I'll get sucked back into that drug life. Just relying on uppers all the time, when caffeine is literally my drug, bro. I love caffeine. I abuse it too much. It's a terrible idea that I took an Adderall and drink caffeine. That's stupid. Absolutely stupid. Especially if you're on testosterone too. That's really stupid. Shouldn't do that. Because when you're on test, like when I was on 500 test, it constantly felt like I was just on like a 200 milligrams of Monster like all the time. So when I'd actually drink energy drinks, I'd be like, whoa, like I'd be so stimulated, especially those 5-hour energy drinks. Shits are like crack, bro. But yeah, as of right now, I'm just waiting for my foreman to get out of the truck and start. I kind of don't want him to, because it's like 30-something degrees out, and we're going to be dealing with, I didn't bring any gloves, so I'm going to have to deal with cold chain link fence posts in my bare hands. Metal posts. That's going to be fun. We're actually going to have to drive the posts in the ground. We're going to have to pound them in. I'm excited because the old company I worked at, Skinner Fence, that's how we did everything. We pounded the posts in this place, Atlas Fence, where I work at now. We set them in, we dig holes. At Skinner, we had a no-dig system. That was the whole, like, our logo underneath our Skinner Fence sign. Which, if you go through upstate central New York, Syracuse, Cicero, Baldwinsville, just that area, I guarantee you any intersection you're at, you're going to see Skinner Fence signs everywhere. There's, like, 3 signs on every, like, street light, street light post, whatever. I don't know, whoever was in the on the marketing team just went crazy with that. So I guess it's working because they're getting business. I don't know about recently because I haven't really talked to anyone that still works there. Whoever's left still working there because the boss fired like just about everybody. It's crazy because me and my buddy Brandon, we helped him start the business out of his driveway. And then, I don't know if I talked about this, I'm probably just repeating myself. But then he fired us. It's like, really? Okay. All right. Like, and I looked at my boss as like my friend. I met him in a homeschool basketball league when I was like 13. And I understand business is business, but it just seemed like so out of left field to let us go. Like, it seemed like there wasn't a reason to let us go. And he didn't give us a reason. That was the thing. It was just like, we see this man every day. We helped him with his personal life. We helped him move from his apartment to his house. And then he just fires us. And then the last conversation I've ever had with him, like me and him, we used to talk about like our gym life, personal life. Last conversation I had with him was me asking the directions to go to this place in Pennsylvania to pick up more fence posts, which is a crazy story. I probably told this story too, but me and my buddy Brandon, we almost died on the way back. We picked up the materials, and let's just say the material to the size of the trailer ratio, way off. It should have been a way bigger trailer. It was I want to say around a 20-foot long, anywhere from like 20 to 25-foot long trailer. And we had like 30-foot long fence. We had like 30-foot long chain link top rails on it, and they hung off like a lot. So we got everything loaded up, started to head back. As soon as I hit like 50 going on the highway, it starts to fish. So yeah, as soon as I hit 50, it starts to fishtail. Brandon's looking at me. He goes, whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm like, I'm not even saying anything. I'm just like, whoa, like thinking like, oh no. I didn't know what to do. I'd never been in that situation. So I didn't slam on the brakes. So I started just like applying the brakes lightly, just tapping them, and then slowly adding more pressure to it. And then we work our way out of the fishtail. And then we're like, yep, we're going right back to that place. And they're going to either we're dropping the trailer or they're readjusting it. And we figured out there was a rule where it has to be like at the very most 40% behind the rearest set of tires on the trailer. Only 40% of the weight can be distributed like on the very back end of the trailer. If any more than 40, maybe it's 60, but I'm just going to say 40. If it's any more than 40, it'll start to fishtail. So they redistributed it, and for 200 miles, I had to drive no more than like 40, 45 miles an hour down the highway. I was just people just whizzing by me, because it's Pennsylvania, and it's, keep in mind, 70 miles an hour pretty much the whole way. We tried taking the mountainous approach, driving through like these windy roads in the mountains. Couldn't do that. It sucked. It would have taken like 15 hours. So we ended up working like 18 and a half hours that day. It was a long day. I don't know if it was 18 and a half. It was a lot. We got there at the shop, clocked in like 6:30, and then we left at like 11:30 or like around midnight. And then I remember our office lady, Holly, shout Holly, she called us and she was like, yo, you and Brandon, you guys don't got to come in tomorrow because it was a Wednesday. And keep in mind, clocked out at like midnight. I got back home at like 1, had to drop Brandon off, and probably almost 1. And yeah, because we would have had to be back in to work at like 6:30. Would have got like 3 hours of sleep. Would have sucked. But yeah, they gave us Thursday and Friday off. So it's like, honestly, that's cool. I think they said they're going to pay us for Thursday. We just worked 18 and a half hours. And literally the business was just relying solely on us. We had the whole team, had the whole business on our back, bro. Because we ran out of materials at the shop. So it was on us to go down to central Pennsylvania, 3.5 hour drive, get everything we're going to need for the next like month. I don't know why, but there was a reason why we couldn't have like an actual 18-wheeler bring up the materials. So we had to go down with my boss's Ford F-250 lifted huge loud truck. That thing was badass. I was trying to buy it, but then I got let go, so that never worked out. But yeah, we had to get everything, bring it back, and then Monday comes around, I go in, and before I even clock in, the But before I even clocked in, as soon as I walk in the door, the coordinator, Paul, is like, hey, Nick, come on in. That's how he talks. He talks like this. He's a great guy. I love Paul, bro. I miss Paul a lot. He worked at like a steel mill for like 25 years. He's hilarious. He's like 52. Like your 50, picture like your 52-year-old like foreman who just like doesn't give a fuck when it comes to like humor, like edgy jokes. You can just say whatever around him. But I could tell something was up. He's like, hey, why don't you come in here for a second? We got to talk. And I sit down. I'm like, am I fired? And he goes, I'm like, what? And I didn't crash out because I was still like waking up. And I was just like, and he handed me a unemployment form to fill out. And I'm just like, he's like, oh, you put this here. I'm not even listening. I'm still like in shock and waking up. And Holly, the office lady, is like really, everyone was just down and out. They didn't want to fire me and Brandon, but it was Gideon's idea, the boss. But I got to get out there and start working. So